Before then, I wanted to introduce you to some of the masterminds behind the parade. They can tell you all about how it came to life and just the inspiration behind it. So please join me in welcoming Mike Aiello and Michelle Alanya.
Hey everybody, hi. Welcome, thanks for being here. My name is Mike. I'm Senior Director of Creative Development here at Universal Orlando. I've seen probably most of you over many dates over the summer so far. As you know, we've been very busy this summer with our Mega Movie Parade being the final project that debuted on July 3rd that completes the quartet of content that we've produced for Universal Orlando this summer. And we're so proud of this parade. Michelle Alanya, who's our show director, is going to take you through a lot of the elements that you'll see tonight, if you haven't already. It has been running several days up to this point. But this process, like all of our content this summer, started about 2.5 years ago. And the goal for the parade was really wanting to, for the first time, celebrate all things Universal Orlando. And knowing that we were also doing a Lagoon show, it provided kind of the great kind of front door to what your entire day into evening can be here at Universal Orlando. So we wanted to create a parade that celebrated not only all the things people love about Universal right now, but also things that people loved about Universal in its past. And then with Lagoon going into content in our future. So between these two major elements, you're getting the full breadth of what it means to be Universal Orlando. And that was really important to our team, especially knowing where we are going in our future. We really wanted to put the stake in the ground and say, this is what and who we are. And this content represents that. So this parade is a collage of elements that span decades of content within not only Universal Orlando, but also the films that Universal Studios and others have produced. So it really has been an amazing project with literally hundreds of people involved bringing this to life. Some of the best float designs we've ever created, some of the best casting we've ever had in a parade. The music, just the look and feel of everything has really upped the scale of what Universal Orlando does with parades. And it's the perfect cherry on top to what has been an amazing summer so far of brand new content here for the resort. So I'm gonna let our amazing show director, Michelle, take you through everything that we're really excited about. One other thing I wanna comment on as well, I'm gonna embarrass Michelle for a second. Personally, we've always been very involved with the people that we bring on to do parades and do a lot of our content. Having been someone that came up through the parks, starting in Ride and Show and now being able to produce content here, I'm very proud to say that Michelle Alanya not only is our show director for this parade, but also was a former performer in our parades of the past. So she has put her absolute all into this. And it's her birthday today! So, now that I've completely embarrassed her, I'm going to have Michelle take you through all of the exciting things you're going to see in our Universal Mega Movie Parade. Michelle.
Thank you. How do I follow that? That was incredible. Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Alanya and I'm the show director of the brand new Universal Mega Movie Parade. Thank you all so much for being here today. As Mike did mention, I actually was a part of the opening cast of the Superstar Parade, if some of you remember that. I was able to be with that parade for 4.5 years, where I was a dance captain and dancer in multiple units. And so I really just have a personal connection to parades, not only here, but just to be able to do a grand parade like this in a grand scope has been truly an honor that I'm so happy to have. So the Universal Mega Movie Parade, that sounds massive, and it is. It absolutely is. It actually is the largest daytime parade we've ever offered. We have nearly 100 performers a day, not to mention all of the countless people behind the scenes that have come together to make this parade possible. And if you know Universal, you know we do parades so well. And I'm not just saying that because I have a personal attachment. We truly do parades so well. We're so good at storytelling. We're so good at presenting the content in an adaptable way to all of our guests. And so the Universal Mega Movie Parade is just that as well. Going into the content of what our parade is, we really wanted it to feel like these movies were leaping off the screen and onto the streets of Universal Studios Florida. And what better way to do that than to set the mood and the tone with an opening moment. So if you go out, or if you've seen our parade before, or you're going out for the first time, try to look for the first 40 seconds of our parade, because we do a short piece, a short routine that really makes you feel like you're at the movies with your family and friends. You're sitting in the movie theater, you're hearing that Universal theme, seeing that Universal logo for the first time, and you're about to be launched into one of our great films. So that'll take us into our title unit, where we do have 8 incredibly talented dancers that are making it feel like a modern approach to these films, while also celebrating our past, present, and hopefully what will be our future of film. That'll lead us into Back to the Future. Do we have any Back to the Future fans out there? Woo! That's right. So what you'll notice when you see each of our films, each of our floats, is that some of them are encompassing a franchise, some are encompassing a trilogy, and some are highlighting scenes from the films that you know and love. So for Back to the Future, how do you encompass an entire trilogy and franchise that people so care about? Well, we put a flux capacitor at the front of the float. And the idea is that the flux capacitor is powering the entire float, which is really awesome, and then sending that time machine on its next journey through time. Of course, you're gonna see 2 of your favorite characters from those films, Doc and Marty. And then we will have some ground talent there as well. You might even see some hoverboards out there too. Keep your eyes peeled. After that, we go into our illumination entertainment section of the parade, where we have Sing and Minions. Sing is highlighting the first film, if you're a fan of the first film, or the franchise. It's a beautiful, elegant, opulent float that also includes a lot of your favorite characters. And you might even see Johnny playing piano up there. On the Minions float, we actually are celebrating Minions through history. It's really a great combination of not only the first Minions film, but also Minions: The Rise of Gru. You're gonna see some of your favorite parts of the beginning of the Minions film. I laugh because I love those movies, they're great. But you see how the Minions journey through to find their leader. So you're gonna see some of those parts of the film highlighted, scenes from the film highlighted, as well as a giant dance party, because who doesn't want a giant Minion dance party under a big disco ball? And the only way to really celebrate that so well with the ground talent is we gotta have some skaters. So we'll have some disco skaters keeping that party going. That'll lead us into our DreamWorks section of the parade. And for DreamWorks, there's so many films to choose from, so many films that we know and love. We decided to lean into Kung Fu Panda and Trolls. And they're just as beautiful and colorful and artistic as you would expect, featuring some of your favorite characters from those films. There's so many details on this Kung Fu Panda float. Please take a moment to enjoy every one of them. It is so expertly decorated and gorgeous, and if you know those films, you know that score is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And on our Trolls float, really the only way to do it justice is to have a giant rainbow, right? That's the only way. It's amazing, and it's glitter. It's covered in glitter. It's incredible. So on that Trolls float, it's really a story about family. The 2 tracks that we're featuring on that float really just tell us how we're all together, all here to enjoy this parade together, and that we're all family. So it's really special. And then I feel like there's some fans out there of this next section of the parade, but Ghostbusters, have you heard of it? Ghostbusters? Right. Ghostbusters is a franchise that has been loved for many years, right? And so what's really special about Ghostbusters is not only the content itself, it's amazing, but we were able to combine the original film with Ghostbusters Afterlife. So that's been really exciting, fusing those 2 worlds together and showcasing scenes that you know and love. Everyone wants to see the Ghostbusters Battle Gozer. That's just like what they want to see in real life, in real time. And we're doing that. So if you haven't seen it, you're gonna see it. It's absolutely incredible. There's even some familiar faces on the sides of that float, so make sure you keep an eye out for some slime might be around somewhere. After that, we did want to highlight the flying scene from E.T., and we were able to do so by literally having our characters flying on those bikes. Again, if you know these films, you know that the score plays such an important role to these films. And what better way to do it than having that flying score underscoring our flying scene. There are some Easter eggs on this float as well, but really we're just leaning into the beautiful story of E.T. and his best friend Elliot, and then their friends all flying together right before E.T. has to go home. So it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. Immediately after that, it gets a little scary. So right after that, there's a giant shark. You might hear some spooky music. Yeah, it's Jaws. Jaws is right after that. And what better way to showcase Jaws than have the shark right on the float attacking the orca? That's the only way. You're gonna see some characters that we never before have been able to showcase, which is pretty exciting, and I don't want to ruin it for you because I want you to see for yourself, but I will say people did gasp when they saw this person. They were so surprised. But again, this is what's exciting about this score specifically is, does anyone remember the Jaws attraction? Okay, great. Perhaps you remember that Amity music that was playing as you left the dock to leave to go on your journey through Amity. Yeah, it's a lovely little Amity Day tune. You're actually going to hear some of that on the Jaws float. It's a nice combination of the theme of Jaws, but also some of that Amity Day celebration. We're really leaning into that 4th of July Amity Day celebration, which just happened, so we're just celebrating that still. We love it. It's amazing. What's awesome about the talent in this unit in particular is that we have baton twirlers. My goodness, they're incredibly talented, and they are just amping up that Amity Day feel, as well as we're bringing back a live drum line as a part of this ground talent. And so we're just so excited to have Jaws as a part of our parade. And then the only way we could really think of ending this parade was with dinosaurs, because that feels right for us. So we are going to end things off with Jurassic World. This most special part about this, not only, again, is the score, which I keep saying, but truly the score makes a lot of these units come to life. But as the T-Rex is, by the way, there's a giant T-Rex, as the T-Rex is making its final lap and heading into the gate, we really wanted to lean into what people remember most of the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films, which of course for the T-Rex would be when the banner is falling when you're in the Discovery Center and you hear that giant T-Rex roar, or maybe you remember in Jurassic World when the T-Rex is on the helicopter pad and lets out a giant roar letting him know that he's running the place now. We felt like that was the best period at the end of our amazing sentence that is Universal Mega Movie Parade, and we really wanted to end with that giant T-Rex roar reverberating in the street. So please make sure that you stick around to listen to that because it really is a wow moment for sure. All that's to say, the Universal Mega Movie Parade features some of our classic films in brand new ways that we've never done before. You'll also notice some of your favorite characters are seen, which I didn't give them all away, but make sure you keep an eye out for those. And truly, the casting for this parade was a welcome challenge. But it's, you want to make sure you're doing the brand justice. You want to make sure we're doing ourselves justice. And I really hope that you're proud and impressed of all of the work that's been put into this parade. We couldn't have done it without our amazing choreographers as well. They really elevated the movement that you're gonna see. And it's really jammed-packed with fun, adventure, thrill, everything that you could ever want from a parade. So we hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for being here today.
Good job. So again, there are a lot of firsts in this parade. You know, there's a lot of parade floats that we've never had featured in a parade before here at Universal Orlando. Also, we have the largest float we've ever produced, which is the Ghostbusters float. Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on top of that thing is the largest float we've ever had in any parade. So a lot of really great firsts for this parade, and we're just really proud that we've got these types of IP rolling down the street here at Universal Studios Florida. So with that, we are going to open it up for some questions, right? Yep. What's that? Two or three questions? Okay, yeah. Am I picking? I don't want that. I don't want that stress. I saw you first.
So was there any particular reason why you decided to put Back to the Future towards the front of the parade rather than towards the back with the rest of the more classic films?
I'm so glad you asked. Thank you for your question. So yes, it was absolutely intentional. And I think the reason why might seem pretty obvious, but I'm glad I get to explain it, because so we were starting with our title float, and we really, after that, the only appropriate float to follow that felt like Back to the Future, because we wanted to drive home the fact that we are going back in time, revisiting some of our favorite films from our childhood, or brought back that nostalgia of being in the theater with our family and friends. So it felt like the right call to have Back to the Future first, just to really lean into that storyline that was so important to us.
Also, another detail too is the design of that float in connection to title. If you're looking at it down the street, literally ramps up towards the DeLorean. That's at the rear of that float. So there was also a look standpoint. It just really felt great to be able to kind of see that vantage point. Yeah. Who else? Matt.
I know you, excuse me. I know you talked about the music, but the soundtracks are also mixed with Universal theme, and it's done really well. Can you talk about how you did that? And so you'll see dancers dancing, and it looks like they're dancing to the float in front of them and behind them as you hear the music go past.
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you for your compliment. Again, that was absolutely intentional as well. The challenge that we had with tying all these brands and intellectual properties together is, what is that underliner? What is that through point that does tie them all together? And it felt like the option was the Universal theme, which again is why you'll see our title unit dancers dance to an expansion of actually our Centennial theme that came out in 2012, I believe. And so they danced to a prolonged version of that, but we did want everything to tie in together somehow for Superstar Parade, if you remember. In the soundtrack, there was a section that all of us did together, and the soundtrack was the same for us, but applied textures from each brand that were specific to us. So in the same vein as that, we wanted to have a 15 seconds of a moment where we could all be tied in together that included the Universal theme, and showcased our brand, but then launched into a more IP-specific branding of music. Also, a fun fact is that our ground talent, mostly it's our dancers that do this, but we all do a similar gesture to our float. It could be just a look, it could be a presenting arm at a certain point in the track. And again, that was just an intentional point of the overall vision of bringing us all together.
One more question right here.
Hi, just two quick ones. First one, the Ghostbusters float, it's the biggest. Is there any specs on that? Like how big or how wide?
Oh, I believe the total height, oh gosh, here we go. I'm very tired. I think it's 36 feet tall.
Okay,
I
awesome.
think.
Yeah.
I think that.
I know Stay Puft is 16 feet
Yes,
tall.
just 16.
Just Stay Puft.
Just Stay Puft.
Okay.
16.
Yeah,
So I think
cool.
with him on the float, I believe it's 36 feet.
Okay.
I believe.
Awesome. And then my
I
second
believe
question.
it a lot.
Yeah, I believe. We'll say around about it. It sounds like such a great mix of legacy and current Universal movies in the IP. I'm just curious from both of you, was it tough to narrow down to these films? And what made this feel like the right formula for this parade?
So in the early concept process, yeah, there was a lot on the table. There was a lot. And then, reality sets in. We can't have 22 floats The end would meet the beginning at some point, and then it would just be a circle at that point. So there were a lot of things on the table, and it was an exercise of really understanding how are we going to capture the most demographic as possible with the parade. Obviously, we didn't want to move away from the animated films because we know there's a huge demographic that loves these characters. Again, could we have done a parade all in nostalgia? Absolutely. But it was important for us to be able to offer something for the entire family. Because again, we've got families coming that may not have seen Back to the Future. But the cool thing, I know, gasp. But it's true, But here's the really cool thing about I'll say the content here at Universal is you're going to come here and you're going to experience content that you've loved your entire life. But at the same time, you can bring someone with you that may have not seen these things. And this is the front door. And that's important as well. I think I'll use the Lagoon Show as that example as well. There's a lot of content in the Lagoon Show that I'm sure a 6 to 8 to 10-year-old may not have seen. Classic monsters, and here's their first chance to see something at this scale. And that's their front door. And that's really important and special, I think. So, yeah. I'm getting the wrap it up signal. So we're going to hand it off back to our wonderful public relations team, and they will move us on to our next element.
Yes, thank you so much,
welcome.
Mike, Michelle.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. So now I know you all have those really cool bubble wands. Take them out because we're going to have Don Davis and Maria Cazares come here and just show you how to use them and talk about all that with the bubble wands. So thank you, guys.
All right. Hello, everybody. I'm going to tell you how to speak loud. All right, I'll try it. So I'm Don Davis. I am Director of Product Development for Universal Studios, and me and Maria and our team have the fun job of creating all the great merchandise that you see in the park. So I'm loving the headbands and the t-shirts, so it's exciting to see all the great product. And now we have the fun job of demoing our new bubble wands. So they feature 3 different characters. I have Bob and Tim from the Minion film. Maria has
Raptor and Poppy.
So each wand has its own unique lights, sounds, and it vibrates, and of course, it blows bubbles. So now we're gonna do the fun part, and we're gonna do a demo for you, so I am gonna put this down. All right, so it operates on 3 different functions. So the first function I like to call solo play. So imagine you are walking in the park, or you're in your backyard, or you're gonna take this home and show it off to your friends so you can encourage them to buy one. So all you're gonna do is there's a switch on the back, and you move the switch to the up position, and that starts to activate the bubble wand, as you can see. So you got the lights going, you got the bubbles going.
It does take a minute for the bubbles to circulate up through the machine.
And then now it's activated, now you just press the button on the back, and you knock yourself out. And you keep going bubbles, and lights and sounds and everything, and you continue to play with this. The great thing is we also do sell refills in the park, but you have enough bubbles to last you through the parade. So, lots of fun on that one. So that is called solo play.
Okay, so the next one, the next mode, you actually will turn your buttons down to the bottom. Just hold them. When you do that, that puts you in parade mode. So as you're going through, the floats are going through, these will react with the trolls, the raptor, and the minion floats. And then there'll be other added surprises as you go through. The other thing that we're most excited about is tag play. So while you're watching the parade, you can actually go up to somebody and tag their bubble wands and create your own bubble parade. So there's additional bubbles blowing.
You have it down? Yes, you mean the down mode. There you go, there you go. Is yours working? Is it down?
Yeah, it's down.
Try yours. Oh, it sounds like it's taking a while. Oh, actually, you just activated mine. That's perfect.
While you're watching the parade, keep the bubbles going, and like
We do want to give a special thank you to the entertainment team. This has been a great synergy between the two departments. We've been able to work with merchandise and the entertainment team to bring it all to life for the parade experience. So I think you guys are going to have the greatest time and enjoy yourselves tonight.